All right, welcome to my tutorial. Today we're going to be comparing unit rates. Up until this point, we have been figuring out the unit rate. And so let's get started by reviewing. What is a unit rate? A unit rate is a ratio between two different units with a denominator of 1. It's very important that you set up your units and you put the unit that you're trying to figure out the 1 value of on the denominator. So let's take a look at an example. Here we got a 12-pound bag of fruit. It costs $25.80. What is the unit price? The unit price is a special type of unit rate. It tells you what the cost is for one item or what the price of one item is. In this case, we're talking about dollars and we're talking about pounds. Since we want to know what is the unit price, we want to figure out the price per pound, per 1 pound. And so that means that the pounds are going to go on the denominator and the dollars are going to go on the numerator. So once you plug in your units, you can substitute your numbers or put in your numbers. And we had $25.80 for 12 pounds. You divide the units. Dollars divided by pounds is $1 per pound. And now we're going to go ahead and divide our numbers using in and out. And here we're going to divide. And if we keep dividing, we end up with a unit rate of $2.15 per pound. And that was a review problem. Let's go ahead and move on to a comparing unit rate problem. Here we got Aurora. She can buy a package of 6 cupcakes for $3.10 or a package of 9 cupcakes for $5.60. What is the better buy? So we have two situations here. We got 6 cupcakes for $3.10 and we also have 9 cupcakes for $5.50. What we have to do is figure out the unit price for each of those packages. So let's do the 6 cupcake packages. Since we're trying to figure out the unit price, we want to figure out the dollars per cupcake. So we put in our units and then we plug in our values, and the dollars divided by cupcakes is going to give us the price per cupcake. So we're going to go ahead and divide now using in and out. 6 goes into 31 5 times and so forth. But then we realize we got a problem here. We have to keep going because we need to round to the nearest hundredth of a dollar, the nearest cent. So I have to bring down a placeholder, and the 6 goes into 40 times 6 times. You subtract and you stop because we need to round to the nearest hundredth. So we went up to the thousandth place. So how do we round? Well, we're rounding to the nearest hundredth. So we look at the thousandth place behind it. Here we got it 6 in the thousandth place, 5 or above, you give it a shove. 4 below, you keep it down low. So we're going to have to give it a shove. So we end up with a unit price of 52 cents per cupcake. So let's go ahead and figure out the unit rate for the other situation. Again, we're figuring out the dollars per cupcake, the price per cupcake. We put our units in, then we substitute our numbers, and that's, you divide your units, it's going to give you the price per cupcake, and then we divide the numbers on the side. $5.60 divided by 9. 9 goes into 5 0 times. 9 goes into 56 6 times. You subtract, you end up with 2. You bring down the placeholder. 9 goes into 22 times. You subtract, you end up with 2. Now, once again, you're going to have to keep going because there are still values there. So we need to add a placeholder. And the 9 goes into 22 times. And so now we need to round to the nearest hundredth by looking at the thousands place. 5 or above, you give it a shove. 4 below, you keep it down low. And so we keep it down low. So we end up with a unit rate of 62 cents per cupcake. So one is 52 cents per cupcake. The other situation is 62 cents per cupcake. So what is the better buy? And the better buy is obviously the 6-count package for $3.10. Because you end up paying 52 cents per cupcake. So let's look at another problem. Here we got Aiden earns $39 for 6 hours of work. Ralphie earns $54 for 8 hours of work. Who makes more per hour? So now we're comparing how much per hour. Two situations. We got Aiden and we got Ralphie. So let's go ahead and do Aiden's situation first. Now we want to figure out who makes more per hour because it's per 1 hour. The hours are going to go on the denominator and the money's going to go on the numerator because that's going to give us the cost per hour. Then we substitute our values. And then we do our division on the side. 39 divided by 6. You end up with $6.50. Now, we're talking about money, so we have to go to the hundreds place. So we're going to add a placeholder of 0. And so Aiden earns $6.50 per hour. Let's figure out how much Ralphie earns. Again, we're figuring out the cost per hour, and so the hours go on the denominator because we want to know how much per 1 hour. We plug in our values. We go ahead and divide our units. That's going to give us the dollars per hour. Then we divide our numbers. 54 divided by 8. We go ahead and divide. We add our placeholder, and we end up with a situation where Ralphie earns $6.75 per hour. So we figured out the unit rate for each person. And so who makes more per hour? Well, obviously Ralphie earns more per hour. He makes $6.75 per hour while Aiden earns $6.50 per hour. All right, let's take a look at another problem. Here we got cereal. It's on sale. Is it a better buy to get a 10-ounce box for $1.95 or a 14-ounce box for $2.81? So we have a 10-ounce box, we have a 14-ounce box, we have two situations, and we need to figure out the unit rate, or in this case, the unit price for each situation. So let's go ahead and do the 10-ounce box. We want to figure out the cost per 1 ounce, and that's why we put the ounces on the denominator because it's 1 ounce, and the dollars on our numerator. Then we go ahead and plug in our values. We divide our units. That's going to give us the dollars per ounce. And then we divide our numbers on the side. 10 goes into 0. 10 goes into 1 0 times. 10 goes to 19 one time. You subtract, you end up with 95. Bring down a placeholder. 10 goes into 55 times. Now, here in this situation, we have to keep going to the thousands place because we're going to round to the nearest hundredth of the dollar, which we all know is the cent. And so we end up with 0 and 195 thousandths, but we got to round to the nearest cent. So we look at the hundreds place. The thousands place to round to the nearest hundreds. So 5 or above, we give it a shove. 4 below, we keep it down low. And here we're going to give it a shove. So it ends up being 20 cents per ounce of cereal for that package. Let's figure out how much it's going to cost per ounce for the 14-ounce package. Again, we want to know the cost per 1 ounce. We go ahead and plug our units in because ounce is 1. It goes on the denominator. Then we substitute our numbers. We divide our units and we divide our numbers. And we end up with a situation where we have to keep going and we have to add placeholders. And so here we end up with 20 cents per ounce also because we got to round to the nearest hundredth. So we end up with a situation where after we round, the prices are identical. So what do? Well, we need to look at the original prices, which we did in our division up above, and we have to compare the whole numbers, which are the same. We compare the tenths, which is different. And so which one ends up being cheaper? The better buy is the 10-ounce package for $1.95. So that is a quick rundown on comparing unit rates. Please make sure you round to the nearest hundredth of a dollar. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Thank you.